Okay. I'm just okay. I woke up this morning after a really terrible night's sleep. Like I woke up with a crick in my neck and I don't know, there's some kind of an aging thing where you sort of get injured while sleeping, which is yeah, so I'm trying to find uh some self-compassion in that whole process. And yeah, I've just been noticing, of course, lack of sleep affects my mood, my sense of resilience, and all of that. So it's all pretty alive for me. I just feel tired and a little bit out of sorts. And what a great time or opportunity to practice or sort of bring some of these this mindfulness practice that we do here a lot uh, to action. So quick reminder, I see some new names here. So what we're practicing here is this process that we call self-directed brain plasticity. And the idea is pretty simple, but it can be difficult to do. But the simplicity is we're intentionally activating certain states of mind through certain behaviors so that our brain and nervous system just gets more and more familiar with that. And it literally changes the structure and function of our brain. And so one of the foundational practices here is we meditate a lot, and there are different forms of meditation. I just wanted to just take a step back and remind ourselves what exactly is it that we're doing when we meditate, also what we're not doing. So the first part is always about just sitting still. Um, I think it is possible to meditate while actively, moving. I think it's a little more advanced. So it definitely helps to just find a place to try to slow things down and be physically still, because then we notice the activity of the mind. It just becomes much clearer. So then the goal is to just observe what is actually happening in the mind. And then we begin to notice that there's this tendency that the mind has, which is to fixate on certainly sensations in the body and feelings, so emotions you could argue that those are also sensations in the body, and they're all connected to thoughts that happen in the mind. And usually all of this stuff happens so quickly that we don't even notice it's happening, which is why we spend so much of our time just in this kind of reactive state. So for me, waking up this morning, I very quickly dropped into this like, I don't feel good. I feel tired. I feel terrible. And it just took me a moment to actually slow things down and notice that, oh, this lack of sleep, this is how it's affecting me in this moment. And if I'm not careful, it's going to color everything that I do from there out, from there on. So the goal for today is to see if we can slow down enough to really just sit and allow whatever these experiences are, these physical sensations and these mental processes, so that we can just see them more clearly. And then, of course, we can ideally make decisions as to what we want to do with that information. But the first step is to actually see it clearly. Mhm. So let's see. Here's what mindfulness or this meditative process is not. Um, we're not trying to avoid or escape feeling or thinking or uh, having experiences. If anything, we're doing the opposite, right? We want to sort of lean into them and really become aware of what's actually happening. We're definitely not trying to ignore, suppress emotions. I know oftentimes for many of us, the reason to start meditating is because we don't feel good, right? We're having difficult emotions like sadness or anger. And so we tell ourselves, okay, gosh, I gotta meditate. And oftentimes the subtext is because I don't want to feel this or feel what I'm feeling or have this experience. So just a reminder, it's not what we're doing here, which is what can make this difficult. We're also not trying to empty the mind of thought. That's another one that I hear a lot is, oh yeah, I'm trying to meditate so that I can just clear my mind. And good luck with that. That typically doesn't work. And then, my favorite one here is also this, I'm doing it because I want to somehow become enlightened. And this is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? Oh, I'm doing all this stuff now because I'm imagining there's a much more ideal future somewhere down the road. And that's what I want to get to. And so again, just a reminder, what we're actually doing is we're trying to stay in the present moment and just be with whatever's presenting itself. So let's try that, and let's start by closing our eyes. And let's begin by intentionally slowing down. And there's a simplicity to the slowing down part. Again, simple doesn't mean that it's easy, but we're striving for a kind of just calm, spaciousness to allow the feelings, the sensations, the thoughts, to allow them to be. And so we can actually see what's going on. And so, begin by taking an inventory of some of the sensations that you're noticing. Maybe start with the eyes. Notice movement or shapes or colors. Just allowing the eyes to have whatever sensory experience they're having. Just notice. Noticing sensations in the torso, so the belly and the chest. Noticing sensations in the feet. Wiggle your toes. Just notice this is what it's like to have feet right now. These sensations, there's obviously a lot more going on in the body, but we don't have time to really do a complete body scan. These sensations usually are either pleasant or unpleasant, and they then get translated into feelings. So just noticing what's the feeling tone of the body right now. Heavy, light, or the feelings that are emanating from the belly and the chest. And there's no good or bad or right or wrong here. It's just noticing what is. What are the feelings coming from the head? What does the head feel like? So noticing sensations in the body, they translate into feelings or what we would call a feeling tone. And then noticing how in and around all of that are probably images, memories, thoughts. Just noticing what are the stories or ideas that are bouncing around the present moment right now. So we're just taking a step back and allowing these thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, not trying to turn this moment into anything that it's not, just allowing all of that to be, simply bearing witness to the brain and the body is doing in this moment. Not trying to avoid anything, not trying to create any experiences, not trying to empty the mind of thoughts or memories, just allowing everything to be as it is. And from a purely practical standpoint, when we're able to simply notice what is, we actually get to participate and make more conscious, hopefully wiser decisions about what to do with all of this information. So just noticing how the stillness creates space, and in that space there's choice. There's room for us to choose what we want to say or do, what we want to be. If we don't know what the body's experiencing or that the mind is thinking, then we lose that ability to choose. So that's really the essence of what we're practicing here, is making space so we can then choose how we want to be. And if you notice the mind wandering, or you sort of going down the rabbit hole of certain memories or thoughts or fixating on certain sensations, just know that's totally normal. And the goal is not to not have that happen. The goal is simply to notice when the mind has been hijacked and when we sort of disappear down the rabbit hole. Just kind of wake up to that experience and then come back to just witnessing, just allowing. And take a deep breath in through the nose, long, slow exhale through the mouth, relaxing the head, the shoulders, the belly. Hold the out breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale through the nose, out through the mouth, relaxing the hands, the belly, the chest. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And go ahead, open your eyes. And notice how as soon as you open your eyes, there's this whole new flood of information that is really compelling for the mind, right? We want to sort of chase all the shiny objects. So see if, I don't know, for the rest of the day, if you can maintain some degree of background awareness about what the mind is thinking and what the body is sensing and experiencing. And hopefully that'll, like I said, give you a little more choice in how you live your day today. So hope that was helpful. I'll stick around if you want to touch base. Happy to chat for a few. Take care, everyone.